This was a video I wanted to make for a long time. I'm not even gonna lie, because honestly, I have gotten so sick and tired of her narcissistic behavior. It has gotten so fucking annoying lately. For the people who certainly managed to keep in the dark of this, it's not your fault. I have no doubt that Star's massive ego caused a lunar eclipse. And if you have still not heard of this person, it's honestly astounding. They have been an online media reviewer for 9 years, and they based their content for years around the My Little Pony series, if that is even still relevant. But this is coming from someone who was Cartoon Network intolerant. I was more of a Nickelodeon fan myself. But if you're in the My Little Pony community and the Lily Orchard community, then you are most likely to hear this person's name 1,000 times. They for years also based their content attacking Lily Orchard, but I do not know much about the drama, and frankly, I do not care. And plus, I'm pretty sure that people who are more knowledgeable about the situation and events are way better than me, so feel free to tell me anything. Speaking of her content, I swore she made some of the most weirdest takes I have ever heard in my life. Does anybody else remember the take she had on My Little Pony where Spike was on a leash or something, and this woman made the claim that it was promoting pedophilia or something? Anyway, back on track, she was formerly Mr. Enter's editor from 2019 to 2021, where her edited videos made movie makers user blush. And after Enter made a video discussing a lot of issues, no, not just with him, but with his entire community against Star, she made the video where she mostly deflected blame and constantly dined on the nerve of Enter. He dared committed the sin of firing Star because she was plain terrible at editing and being a terrible person. Well, that's the smallest summary for now, but we will definitely explore the galaxy. We're going on the trip on the rocket ship, so sit your asses down and let's get into it. So, Star Giant Productions was Enter's editor during the midst of 2019 and 2020, and before I move on to specifics, I gotta have a personal take first. I remember when he first released the Certified Babysitter video back in 2019, and I saw the thumbnail of Chloe and Timmy. I had no idea who the hell this was supposed to be. But I know for a fact their voice was familiar, and I remember where coincidentally the video Star edited, the videos just dropped horribly in quality and editing. It was so easy to tell when she was the one that edited the video. Anyway, Enter made her edit over 20 videos during the employment, and there were mistakes I'm sure not even the most earliest beginners would make. Even Stevie wondered how to take off his glasses looking at these edits. Let's list all her editing mistakes. She sometimes left the aspect ratio in her videos and not watching the resolution sidebars. Other times she would export Enter's avatars and they would still have red pixels around the edges. One was even fucking floating in production. I mean, even I use PNG in my videos, and even back then, it was never this bad. And to be honest, this was where I had no idea how PNGs and transparency worked back then. But like I said, even a beginner graphic artist would not be able to let these mistakes slide in the final product. Or if they did happen to slip by still, at least they would try their damnedest to not let this happen again and again and again. She would also have these white glaring text blocking the entire screen and would even insert her OCs into his videos without permission, mind you. I just like to think that she forgot her place in the videos because Enter never wanted her avatars or even some of her opinions in the video. Again, you are an editor. You are supposed to follow the script of Enter's command, while at least going up to him for recommendations before you just take over his own project. She really wanted to be in the spotlight despite it not being your fucking channel, and she desires being credited, even in a channel that was not even hers. I remember when Enter's old videos, it has some recording and visual issues, which that's the one thing I will give to Star. And I will agree that he could have at least taken a bit more care into his videos. But again, Enter has improved over time. You haven't one little bit. And as soon as Star joined the editing team, the videos just took a massive drop in quality and editing. So of course it was her fault the videos were like that. I mean, this woman not only dropped the quality of Enter's videos, but her fat ass also called the drop of the gravitational pull. And she gotta have her own gravitational pull because there's no way this bitch thinks the whole universe revolves around her. She might even launch you into orbit. Now think about it, I was recording this video on the left side of my room. I'm halfway out my window right now. It's not because of Star Giant though, I just got a gas leak. I think my house is on fire. Fuck it, health houses are not finishing this video. What day is it? Wednesday? Okay, I haven't slept since last Black Friday. But on a more serious level, while I'm slightly amazed Enter did not fire her sooner because of her mistakes, at least he finally did. Guess it's a better late than never circumstance, but it should have been taken more into accord as soon as the work saw no improvement and her editing speed decreased. And for other factors we'll be getting into in a second, but the main reason outside of the other reasons she was fired was because of her spoiling Enter's Twitter account, which was only kept under wraps between Enter and his team. You see, Enter's original Twitter account was deleted back in January 2020, and to make a comeback, he made a private Twitter and generated hype with it. But Star one day proceeds to tell people that she was involved with the project, and she told people what the project was. And when she was asked if that account was fake, she proceeds to ruin the surprise and told people that that was Enter. And that was officially the last straw that made Enter fire.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
You love to boost yourself and take credit for a lot of things you do, not even with Enter's videos, but by putting your characters in them, but blabbering about how you help Enter with the account, and you spoke too much and lost your job for it. She cannot edit a video or keep a secret to save her life. Now, I can understand being devastated and feeling some weird responsibility after you have committed wrongdoing during your employment and paying the price by losing your job. I can sympathize with a lot of people with losing their jobs, and especially if it's a dream job they held so near and dear. And people would take the opportunity to collect themselves, silently learn their lessons, and try to find work. And that's the complete fucking opposite of what happened here. After Star was let go, forcefully I might add, she took the firing quite well and then proceeded to vent her frustrations on YouTube and claimed Enter was an abuser for simply not putting up with her bullshit. She first vented about how she proclaimed she was the best editor on the team, and in a re-uploaded video, she then had a video of herself rating cartoon reviewers, and she placed Enter on the F tier for simply firing her. And that's not even where it ends either. She would continue to bitch about her editing and mocking people who criticize her editing.
I was John's best editor. The only other editor that was as good as me was Crimson Mayhem.
Rebecca was my worst editor.
No, you might as well. It'd be interesting to see the mistakes that I would have never guessed in a million years. All of your editors have made errors. Look closely enough and you'll find them.
And even in her own fucking response video, apologizing in a response video, and then when she think nobody would notice, she go right back to talking about Enter. Not even SpongeBob beats her abilities at self-absorption. She looks like she belongs in the sea too. Her OC's built like the whale from Finding Nemo. Hey guys, look, I was the best editor on Enter's team. Sounding ass. It's even ironic saying your editing is good when later down the line her videos way after the events look like a shitty Go anime. Actually, that's an insult to Go anime. At least Go anime looks slightly appealing than this. God damn, I gotta even give Nintendo credit for one saying that at least he has animation in his videos compared to Star Giant. And what's more ironic is that she claims she doesn't care about Enter, but then she will bring up his name at any opportunity for the past 2 years. She would constantly reference him in videos and steal, yes, she would steal jokes, ideas, and punchlines directly from Enter's video. The Cartoon Network 64 video was a parody of Mr. Enter's Nikorama. And before anyone says, oh, this is a simple mistake or coincidence, I assure you, she knew what the fuck she was doing.
Hey Lois, this reminds me of the time I tried to give flight lessons.
Are you sure you know what you're doing? Oh no, I've never flown a plane before in my life. What? Then why are you my instructor? You know what they say, those who can't do teach. We are going to die!
Hey Lois, this reminds me of the time that I drove Dashi to her job.
No.
She gotta have Stockholm Syndrome for real, because you can't tell me she doesn't care about Enter after they both parted ways, and she just loves repeating his name like Bloody Mary. So I think we got a small taste test of Enter versus Star thing. But there are some other reasons I didn't mention, trust me, we'll get to that. But in a nutshell, she caused people to be very uncomfortable, refused to fix her editing and improved. She took no responsibility or opening up to her faults. Let's just move on, but keep in mind, Enter is not the last time I'm going to speak about him in this video. So this is something that me and another editor, something I've never really brought up because Enter's video beat me to it, and I highly doubt anyone would have believed me anyway if I said I worked for Star for a bit, but here we fucking are. But what this subject is, it does relate to the event that led to Star's response video to Enter, and the event that led to it was one of her editors cutting ties with her. And I know I don't have many screenshots to back up my statements, I do admit and apologize, but it is backed up with Grace saying the same thing as well in Enter's video, and I would not make this entire segment if I was talking out of my ass. So here we go. The events I'm telling you happened literally after she was just fired, so June or July 2021, if my memory serves me right. And after she was fired by Enter, this woman went to work immediately on the script to explain her side. Or she probably went straight into framing Enter as an abuser. I don't know. I could be wrong though. Me and Grace were both the first people to tell her that this was a bad idea, give it a week to cool herself down and reflect on her faults. But of course, this is before Enter's video came out. So of course, the only thing that I knew was that she just leaked Enter's upcoming Twitter account, which led to her being fired. But yeah, me and Grace constantly told her to stop and think about what she's doing. She agreed, and we left it at that. I swear I remember this next part to this very day. It was literally a few hours later at nighttime. You know, I was just chilling with her teammates and editors on Discord, and I think I know she was pinging the entire team about Grace cutting ties with her. Congratulations, bitch. You play. Never mind, you get the idea. She was alone in the VC and the server crying, and I already knew what this was about. I swear, I was so mad, I didn't even want to join the voice call. Was this bitch really gonna cry because you showed a co-worker of your former boss the script of you framing him as an abuser, and you didn't think this was gonna be a fucking problem? Well, yeah, she showed Grace the abusive and terrible script of her bashing her boss and accusing him of abuse. What you thought was gonna happen, Dick Tracy? I'm sorry if I sound mad, but me and her friends really tried her fucking damnedest to prevent this, but her pride is always blinding her. She cares more about her reputation than her friends. What do you value more? Your friends or your fucking image? I said, don't answer that. And this is why Grace cut ties with her, and I cannot be happier for them making that choice. Being around Star is like a circus act. You'll never know what you'll be getting yourself into. Does she deserve it? Absolutely. She had so many chances to stop herself from doing what she did, and even her friends had to yell at her to get her to listen. But at the end of the day, she only cared about her image and status, and if anyone doesn't follow through her ideas, she just say fuck all. But anyway, I'm gonna do a little something before you move on. I'm just gonna take a look at this response video for a second. I'm gonna watch the response video she made to see what she said.
There. Why are you in the void? Oh, it's about that Enter video, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me. No. Are we really doing this? Are you really gonna have a skit in the same fucking video you're supposed to address your side? Don't get me wrong, your side's gonna be shit anyway, but you still gotta explain your side. Secondly, are we really doing this? The incredibly somber tone, the potential emotional manipulation. Just watching this video makes me uneasy. This is so unlike Star in their content. Keep the same energy you was having when you was accusing Enter and his friends of abuse. What happened to that? And for the love of fucking Christ, even in her own response video, it seems no matter what Star touches, the disastrous editing cannot escape my eyes.
Rebecca told me that I tend to be too suicidal and accused me of doing it for brownie points or manipulation. The fact that this woman can suggest that I want to kill myself for fucking brownie points is just cruel.
I was wrong to say that. I helped Hope out in the past, but one night I guess I got angry at her and I said that statement behind her back. I instantly realized that it was wrong for me to say that.
You know what? Someone has to say it. I don't care what troubles you go through in your life. I can sympathize people going through the most hardest of struggles. I think we can all agree that we all been angry and fought our own demons. Hell, I've been having a judo match with Satan for the last few years. But this isn't like an argument with a significant other or best friend where you slipped up and fucked up accidentally. No, this is the monumental fuck up. This is just shitty behavior. You said a horribly unnecessary statement to a broken, mentally damaged person at the time. Someone that your actions caused them to be this way. God forbid if they did something I don't want to think about. There is no excuse and it should have never escaped your fucking mouth. Normally I'm just joking, I like to have a little bit of fun, but I horribly despise things like this when people are so fucking dense to people's emotions.
Here is a Google Docs that I sent to both John and Hope on this matter. They accepted the apology and—
Hold on, I'm gonna get my glasses real quick, I can't see, hold on.
John and Hope on this matter. They accepted the apology—
Hold on, let me grab my napkin. I think there's some fog on my glasses, hold on.
They accepted the apology.
I refuse to believe this is edited by humans. This has to be edited by bats, because what program does she have that doesn't have a preview window? Does she know scrolling speed or slow motion? But overall, she apologized for everything and it seems like she's gonna change. It's the exact fucking opposite of what happened. She didn't apologize because after her video, Enter made the turning red argument, and while the internet was clowning on Enter, guess who came out of retirement of not wanting to cause drama with Enter? And I think a certain user, ThadMaster7, I probably butchered that, I apologize for bringing this up because I had no idea this even happened around the time. Star proceeds to update the apology video with a turning red thumbnail with Enter's name slapped on it, really showing your maturity for an almost 30-year-old woman, and then she writes this 12-fonted, double-spaced, MLA formatted essay about how much she hates Enter, denying everything she said in her video, once again showing it was just for the camera. once again. And the final cherry on top is Star's tweet once again bashing and going after Enter and painting him evil.
Is this nigga serious?
This woman has no fucking pride or shame, gotta respect that, but I also disrespect her for the hypocrisy of saying she'll do better and saying she doesn't care about Enter, and then she turns around and involves herself in a situation that doesn't even involve her. And I also thank Otaku official for pointing this out. They're really on her asses with their controversy. Y'all gotta be hired for the FBI. You two are literally Italians on YouTube videos. If Star even cared remotely, microscopically, about why people clown on her and wonders why no one likes her. Maybe she should for once think about her actions before jumping into them and thinking she's right after everything. Before we begin, no doubt this segment is going to discuss the sensitivity and harsh reality of abusive behavior and mindset, so if you're someone who is not comfortable or have personally went through experience with abusers in the past, I am sorry firsthand, and you are very much welcome to skip this segment if you like, but I am not going to let something slide as serious and mentally damaged as this. I mean shit, I fear more for the personal circle around Star than anybody else. But let's go ahead and talk about some of her biggest blunders and fuck-ups. If we were to list all the time Star abused people, this list would be longer than a CVS receipt. But let's just get this out the way. First, abusing your co-workers. Imagine the most perfect team, having a cooperative and fully functioning team that you can most definitely rely on, without pushing them to the brink of exhaustion. When you mistreat the people who dedicate their years, time, sweat, and literal tears of sorrow and exhaustion to work for you, you should treat them fucking nicely, because seriously, they could find work anywhere, elsewhere. Star took that concept of kindness, went into the other direction in the intersection, and did this 10 times worse. And I have personally met with some of her editors, including one who works for Enter. Personal experience being on calls with her friends, where it would be like 2 or 3 in the morning, we're just chilling, doing our own thing. Next thing you know, the whole call goes silent with the editors complaining that Star messaged them at 2 or 3 in the morning to add more things into the project. She would plan like 20 projects at a time, and she wanted the editors to dedicate all their time to the projects. She would give them more tasks to complete in the shortest deadline, like within 2 days. Let's also not forget the time you commissioned Hope, the same artist you got mad and told her she was too suicidal, as she was just sad for brownie points during a mentally broken state, to do a 23-minute animation within 4 fucking days. Not only do you insult someone's mental state, but you bring the cause of their distress and then you want them to do something for you. Also, a good job pointing out Hope's mental state at the time. They tend to be too suicidal. Wow, I didn't think of it like that. Thank you, Star, for reminding someone that they have severe depression and maybe even suicidal tendencies, but again, thank you for reminding them that they're fucking sad. And about the animation thing, for someone who likes to critique cartoons and movies, you underestimate the artistic quality and dedication to make art, by the way. Animation takes months and even years to make. It takes a lot of revisions and decisions on the best drafts of the final project. Let's not forget the fact some of your editors are fucking students who cannot dedicate their entire life to you. They have school and jobs and families to get back to. And these editors will also talk about how abusive the workload was, and worse, they were getting infrequent to little pay possible. The co-workers on a few separate occasions went up to Rebecca to get paid based on the amount of work they did, instead of Rebecca just picking out random numbers to pay them. She agreed for a while, and things have not changed, even after one of them went out the way to try to make Rebecca to pay them. And also, if you were her editor, she would nitpick the most smallest mistakes in your videos, even some mistakes that weren't that bad. What's even worse, she would then edit out your version to put her edits on top of it. So most of your creativity and energy editing, she would get rid of it. She would scrap it entirely. Why would you do that? What's the point of editing? I know for a fact she works a job like a 40 or 60 hour job at most, although I don't remember, but I know she works. I know that much. Now, I could be wrong, it's been like 30 hours since I slept, but outside of maybe paying bills and maybe food, I think you have plenty of fucking money left to pay your workers. And maybe it's because I'm not even monetized yet, but considering you have 76k, I don't know how she managed to refuse to pay people. But if an editor knows how much they get paid, I'd like to know in the comments below, please. And trust me, you gotta be a poor fuck to hunt someone down for $50. But guess what? The poor fuck was me. It doesn't take someone 2 months to pay $50, but I wasn't gonna slave myself having a horrible editing experience for nothing. It's sad when I have to make the horrifying and real argument that even the Chinese sweatshops pay slightly more than what Star is doing. Continue to treat your coworkers like slaves and you will lose them. Oh wait, she lost editors so many fucking times due to no payment or the amount of work dropped on them with impossible deadlines. And she wonders why no one wants to work for her. I swear, when I heard the horror stories about Star abusing and slaving her coworkers, it was like a campfire horror story until I personally was affected by it. The stories, they weren't shitting you. I have an account from another person Star knows, simply because they criticized Mr. Enter's Nicarama review. Side take, but I also agree with the person because this was an impossible series. I mean, seriously, I don't know what Enter is thinking. I mean, who could possibly watch 30 series, watch thousands of episodes, and reviewing the entire series in a month? But Star wasn't having any type of criticism, and then she proceeds to ghost them and refuse to talk to them for a year. Again, her narcissistic behavior. Oh no, how dare one friend despise the Nicarama series? That monster. How would Star live with herself with one person disagreeing on her? And with Crimson Mayhem, a friend of theirs, they also talk shit behind their backs while they were still friends. Which you gotta love the double standard that she will attack Hope for talking shit about Star when Hope had her reasons for doing so. But then she turns around and shit talks about Crimson, and apparently she feels entitled to doing that.
Why did Crimson cut ties with me and abuse me behind the scenes? I don't know, and he has never given me an explanation for this. I've asked people if abandonment is a form of abuse, and they told me yes, that it is.
In Rebecca's world, if you toss her out of your life because she's a toxic hellhole of a person, you are the abuser for quote-unquote abandoning her.
What can I even say to that, honestly? I mean, he said it himself. And she calls everyone a fucking abuser. Star calls people abusive who leaves her ironically because of her shitty and toxic behavior, which makes people want to stay away longer from you. She calls people who argue and disagree on her opinions abusers. She calls anyone who doesn't see things her way abusive. I think you get the point. It's just controlling in a whole nother level. I'm honestly scared for her friend group more than they are probably scared for themselves. Because who knows how long they have been warped by Star. And to any of Star's friends, I'm just gonna be honest. As a genuine, honest thing, do you really think Star is worth being around, even if she is your only friend, the best friend that you've known for years? Would you really respect someone and still support someone who constantly backpedals on their apologies, always wants to be right, and wants everyone to forget her actions the next day, no matter how shitty they were? Do you still want to be friends with someone who will turn around at any second and call you an abuser and manipulate and lie to you? And will fill your heads with lies because you stood up for yourself? I'm not trying to blame her friends, but in some aspect, look around you. Sarah, Grace, Hope, Power Lad, Enter. If she has wronged this many people, she will accuse you and shit talk you behind your back too. If you guys still defend Rebecca after the shitty actions and would defend her to your last dying breath, then you guys are part of the problem too. You are allowing her to do what she wants, whenever she wants, and this is why so many people went against her. We can't stand someone like her who blamed the people she victimized, can't even recognize her own faults, and will turn around and betray and hate you in any second. I'm begging you to stand up for yourself and don't let her push you around. You will find so many other people better than her who won't treat you as another object for having different beliefs and opinions. I want to move on. I'm getting more riled up. Probably the most angriest I ever got on my channel. I'm still set in this fucking shell shock after the fucking brownie points accusation.
I still stand by my original statement that I never abused anyone in my entire life. I still know that I do listen to people, I never abused anyone, and I don't underpay. And I'm not toxic either. I'm not a narcissist.
It is no doubt within my mind that everybody has pointed out that Star has narcissistic tendencies. I mean, hell, she literally checked the check boxes on everything that a narcissistic person does. I'm going to run over every single one of her traits and behaviors, followed by a lot of examples. She snaps at Enter for supposedly copying Nostalgia Critic's review of Lion King, but Star literally copies Enter in his style of humor, jokes, and even ripped off his entire Nicarama series with the Cartoon 64 videos, down to the exact style of thumbnail. She even copies skits from his videos down to the exact quotes. She gets mad at Enter for making editing mistakes as well as criticizing Enter's editing team, but she still declares her editing is perfect and she has no flaws whatsoever. She refuses to acknowledge every single editing error and just justifies with, well, Enter is wrong. I mean, Enter's editors also made mistakes, so what makes me any different? Except Enter and his editing team has improved over time compared to you, which you are still stuck in this goddamn mindset that you're a perfect editor when your editing to this day is still complete shit. She accuses one of Enter's editors that the editing was off when her entire editing is complete shit. She gets mad at Hope for talking about Star behind her back where Star talked about a lot of people behind her back, including Crimson Mayhem, while they were still friends. And I'm sure there exist other examples that I just don't have images or people telling me about it. And speaking of which, Star infuriates me with her not understanding simple human communications, like reading a fucking room. Star goes up to Hope, and in her mind of consoling a mentally damaged person, she tells them that they're always feeling suicidal, which I take offense to because it's not consoling, it's not trying to help a friend, it's just point blank reminding the person that they're always sad. And even in normal conversations, whenever people will move on from a subject discussed hours or days ago, suddenly Star will want to talk about the outdated subject matter. There is a time and place for downtime talk, but it's another when everyone is trying to work for Enter, trying to make money, and bringing up outdated conversations is not the time. And lastly, for an almost 30-year-old woman, she wants everything explained to her. Why did Enter fire me? Couldn't he just explain it to me? Like, I don't fucking know, Star. Listen to the fucking video and get out your narcissistic box. Stop acting like everything you do was a simple mistake you can just solve with a good night's sleep. There are so many videos explaining what you did. You just don't want to believe it. You just don't want to believe that you have flaws in your head. I'm so tired of this mindset she has that she thinks she could do no wrong, and whenever any person on the planet points out her mistake, she loves to justify it with her abuse or her life. Oh, boo-hoo, wooey-hoo. We all have shit going on, Star. I'm so tired of this version of herself, but she's always gassing herself up with all of these good deeds to prove that she's not a bad person. She loves to not only talk about the good things she did in her life, while avoiding or not discussing her own flaws, because in her mind, she seems to not have any. Even in her fucking abuse video, I heard nothing but justifications for her reason, followed by all of her friends talking about how great of a person Star is. She didn't discuss the time she hurt people and people left her because of her behavior. No, she blames politics and people in her life as to why she hurt everyone, which doesn't mean diddly squat. Admitting you are becoming just as worse, if not worse than everyone you say abuse you. And then anyone who dares leave a single comment about criticism or calling out her flaws, that dares harm her self-esteem and confidence, she calls them an abuser. Star's ego is longer than the 3-day weekend. Bet that bitch is so long it's probably touching Jesus' asshole. She has traits as well, like always wanting constant praise and attention, downright to taking credit over Enter's content and inserting herself into his videos, including her avatars, and even begging an artist to draw herself in a thumbnail just to put it in the video. Again, she is forgetting her place as an editor on the team and trying to take over her boss's channel, and that's not something recommended by most job descriptions. And once again, her wanting to hear only the good things she's done in her life instead of hearing any negative actions she's ever done. She avoids confrontations whenever she initiated a lot of her actions. She started this feud with Mr. Enter by showing his friend the abuse script she made, and then she wonders why Enter went after her. And then when Enter went after her, rightfully because Star started all this shit, Star thinks that Enter was in the wrong for doing so. And Star always loved to hide behind her friends or let her friends speak up for her. The only time she ever decides to speak up is only when enough pressure is applied to her, but everything else she avoids and still tries to avoid. And it always happens when she feels like her image and reputation is being tested. She cares more about her image than her friends to argue with them, and she ends up leaving them to fight for her. So admittedly, I kind of thought this would be like the best place to end it, but it's just explaining some of her most weirdest takes. She has some of the most weirdest takes that makes you question why is she trying to be a reviewer again? My Little Pony is promoting pedophilia again. I have no idea what person comes up with that shit. Now, I can understand that there were those types of people in the community, but I don't think the show itself is promoting such actions. And again, this little take was just because of a simple joke in an episode she was reviewing with Spike on a Chain. Again, how do you come up with that shit? And now we have some upcoming takes of her, apparently, because I received a script of all her ideas she wants to do, and yeah, I found some. Apparently, she thinks that Santa Claus is a cult. Apparently, she thinks that Santa Claus is being treated like a cult, or at least she thinks it's a cult. In that case, December must be a fucking nightmare for her. I can only imagine her stepping outside to see an inflatable Santa if the Star Giant just refuses to step out the house for a month. What's next? Is she gonna claim that Lucky Charms turns you Scottish? And probably the most weirdest take I have ever heard from her. Apparently, she's calling out Jada Animations. Why? Apparently because she thinks Jada Animations is promoting absolutism. She's just a fucking storytime animator. What the fuck are you talking about? She's claiming that Jada Animations is a dictator? What the Holy shit, this is the same person that her followers blindly follow. Like, what? Huh?